He's the guy that's got to write the check at the end of this thing. I think that's why that happened.
They're inside. So we're only as fast, as our slowest runner, we say in the military when we're all running. So we have to do that. So we have to pick each other up. We have to take everyone together on this because we're all one. Does that answer it?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Give him a big round of applause. So we are now in the final 15-minute window before we're going to do this meditation. And this is a very important part of what we're here for. And I want to hand it back to Corey now. Since he's relieved himself in the bathroom, he's probably going to be ready for everything he needs to do here.
I was counting on that intermission.
Well, you don't get one with me. It just goes.
It's okay. I have a thing back here, a bucket.
Yeah.
That's what I've been using. Gotta improvise.
Let's talk. I mean, I could do the science and all this stuff, and maybe I'll insert some of that as we go. But could you explain, Corey, why, when you're doing an event called Dimensions of Disclosure, and we're talking about wanting to have full disclosure and wanting to get this information out to the public, why would we need to focus on something like a group meditation? What's the underlying agenda that these beings told you about why that matters?
Well, it goes back to we are all one, but this illusion of separation, the only way that we can, I guess, come together is through the mass consciousness. The more we learn about the power of our mass consciousness, the co-creative ability of our mass consciousness, and understand that, yes, at one point, some being wanted to understand what, wanted to have this experience, and it divided into all of these individual beings. So I just got off again.
Can you feel your underpants?
I tell you what, I was so excited about having the event here because I wasn't going to have to drive or travel, but we ended up traveling down to Dallas because my stepdad being ill, and we drove back right before this, so we're all pretty exhausted, so my brain is shutting off a little bit.
Why meditation?
Okay, meditation. This is our opportunity to get together and focus on one intent for our co-creative consciousness to manifest. And I said this earlier today, the biggest trick that the cabal pulled over us was taking away our knowledge of our co-creative abilities, and then they started to manipulate it through media and other control systems, and they trick us into using our co-creative abilities to manifest a negative reality. And this is us taking back that power and using our magic to manifest a positive reality.
Somebody from the audience, Corey, came up to me after my talk yesterday, or no, it was actually at the dinner. It was at the dinner. And he brought up something from way back when we first started doing Cosmic that I'd forgotten about. And it was something that Tompkins touched on as well. You were told that these so-called Draco reptilians that are here on Earth had created some kind of mind control mass system that affects how everybody's mind and heart and spirit is working. And you were also told that at some point that system would break. So could you go into that a little bit about that story of what is this mind control system and what are we expecting is going to happen when it breaks?
Yes, it is a mixture of technology as well as the way the earth, the electricity travels through the earth through the ley lines. They disturbed the natural ley lines and the way energy travels through the earth naturally. They diverted it. And at the same time, and that the way that the energy was passing through the earth before allowed us to be more psychically in tuned in communicating with each other, and also have more access to higher self type, I guess, technology. They wanted to remove that from our consciousness. They didn't want us to know about it. So that affecting the grids had that effect on us. And then they also had added to that technology that was in space and also on Earth, connecting through those grid lines that affect our consciousness and keep us asleep. And from what I've been told, since the spheres came and the energies have increased, the technology doesn't hardly work. They've got it turned up all the way just to have a small effect on the consciousness of humanity right now.
And Emery, that sounds a lot like what you were just saying, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more scientific. I think about like scalar infinitometry because of the devices I was, introduced to, and this might be a reverse engineering of what they have done, because the science he's talking about is real. It's real science, and it makes sense. I don't know about the whole Draco thing, but I agree with what you're saying because it's already happened and it's happening. And I really believe that this meditation and things that we do cohesively with a good collective really breaks that field. Because remember, it's a field of energy. We're all energy.
Yeah, I think also what has had an effect is that there are a lot of star seeds that their mission is to come back and reactivate these grids. And even people in this room have been going to sacred sites and trying to reactivate them and set that circuit back up to work properly again through the ley lines.
There is no try.
Only do.
Slow down there, Turbo.
Now, you were told, though, Corey, that at some point there would be a decisive breakdown of that system from even being able to do what it was doing, that it would just cease to work, and that there would be some kind of a sudden effect, sudden change in people's consciousness. Could you describe that? Yes,
it's multi-layered. It's going to be like coming off of a drug all of a sudden for everyone. It's been affecting our consciousness. All of a sudden, it's like you begin to hear things more clearly. You receive a signal more clearly. It's affected our ability to receive this information, and in the beginning, it's going to be overload. So. It's going to be a major headache in the beginning.
Now, you had also described how in the secret space program they had these craft, they fly people out into this interstellar cloud that our solar system is drifting into, and two different types of things would happen depending on who you are. Could you go through that again real quick?
Well, what they did is they flew out to these gas clouds, plural. There were numbers of them that the Earth passes through, then goes through a clear patch, and then passes through, different densities of these clouds. But they went out to these clouds, nebulous clouds, which are just energy, and they measured it. And while they were out there, they noticed that it was having a psychological effect on the crew. Well, they documented it, and how scientists, they have to repeat it. So when I was in the programs, they would actually take our own people and, people like doing data entry. Yeah, they do data entry on ships. Yeah. They would put them in a room, several of them, to do data entry, and if they've psychologically profiled them all, they know everything about them. And they would put them in and watch them. And these people are working. They have no idea what's going on. And then they begin to pipe in this energy. And the people that were very positive, moral, would become blissed out and, almost high. And the people that were of a negative polarity would do the opposite, become extremely agitated and unpleasant.
So, Emery, do you think this is part of the reason why, when you do these CE5s, that some people get so triggered that they actually become angry and they just storm off?
Yeah, they have that kind of program there that they can't accept that. It's happened millions of times where craft would come in, fly in, and you've heard about this in history where ships would go to a different civilization, and the natives never saw a ship, but they see people walking on the water, because your brain can't assimilate that, because what Corey said, we're not turned on yet.